When you have a need from God, don't let your situation push you away from him. Stay in your right place in God, because God is working. See, what the enemy tries to get you to do, oh, Jesus didn't move fast enough. He gets you to back up from God. He gets you to back up from your faith. Stay in your right place. I know it happens. It happens to all of us. The enemy wants you to back up on God. He doesn't want you to stay in your place. You must resign yourself that you are in the right place at the right time, and the right situation is going to come through. The enemy of your soul will do everything, I'm telling you, everything he can to make you throw in the towel. He will make you do everything you can to turn your back on God. Joshua 1:9 tells us, haven't I commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. God is with you whatever you're going through, whatever your situation is, no matter how tough it gets, no matter what it looks like, no matter how dark it is, no matter how bad the storm is, God is with you. Even if the storm is like a tornado or a hurricane, they said the best place of the storm is in the eye, the center of the storm. And when you're in that center of the storm, know that God is right there. He says, I'm with you. But you know what the enemy wants you to do? God's not there. He wants you to run over there. Jairus stayed right there. And how we know Jairus was right there? Because if he wasn't so close to God, how did Jesus hear the report of his servant? Jesus heard what the servant told Jairus. So Jairus must have stayed close to Jesus. You gotta stay close to God so that he can move when the time is right. He knows how much you can bear. Psalms 130:5 says, I wait for Yahweh. I put my hope in his word. Yahweh just means God Almighty. Yahweh means the Lord. I wait for the Lord and put my hope in him. Who else you gonna put your hope in? Everybody else done failed us. We just sang the song, says God, that he's more than, I love you Jesus more than anything, because my friends will turn their back and go. He says your love was greater than anything. That's why we wait on God. I done had friends turn their back on me. I remember when I first got saved. Keep your faith. Look at verse 36. But when Jesus overheard what was said, that's what the servant came and said, he told the synagogue leader, don't be afraid, only believe. What you have going on in your life that's just like, oof. What? Stay there for a second. Think about it just for a minute. What do you have going on in your life that is really troubling you? And you've been just saying to God, God, I know you done fixed a whole bunch of things for me, but this thing right here, I don't know if it's going to work. Got something going on, you've been talking to God, you're saying, God, I believe you for my money. I believe you for my job. I believe you even sometime for some people it's your health. Somebody it may be your job. Somebody it may be your children. Do you have something that you just can't quite? Because can you imagine being in Jairus' situation? He came to him before the daughter died. He came to him and he stood there and he was like, can you just come touch her? She's at death's door. Could you imagine his mind sitting out? If you'd have came when I asked you, she would have died. Now she's dead. It's too late. Do you have any situations in your life that you really think are too late? You have any hopeless situations you think nobody, no one, even God can't fix? You don't have to put your hands up in there. I'm just throwing it out there because you know what? We all been there, done that. We have situations we really believe are hopeless. I know that. There are situations sometimes that we feel are hopeless. We have other things. We really do trust God. Say, oh, I know God gonna fix that, gonna work that out. But there's pieces of our lives we feel like. Do we get like that? Tell the truth. Now you can raise your hand. Do we get like that where we feel like there's a piece, this little piece that and you're almost like pleading, God, can you just please Be like Gideon. You put out a fleece. God, if you do this, I'll believe. If you do that, if you make it dry, if you make it wet, if you do this, then I'll know you're going to do this piece for me, God. You're almost like begging God, please, can you just prove to me that in this area you're going to work? Because I'm so tired of struggling with this one thing. Sometimes it's habits we can't let go of. Sometimes it's not even that situation, but it's within our own soul. God, I need you to do this for me. Can you just change me in this one area of my life? Because I'm struggling. And God just comforted him so. I want this to be encouraging. God is working. He encouraged Jairus so much. He said, look, I don't want you to be afraid. All you have to do is believe. God is telling us today, he said, you know what? I don't want you to be discouraged. I don't want you to be saddened. I don't want you to be hard-hearted. I don't want you to be hurt. I don't want the news you keep getting day after day, week after week. I don't want you to see, sometimes it hits us because it's what we see. It's our reality. Reality sometimes can be a stumper. It trips us up. But God says, that was reality. When that servant came to Jairus and said, why you keep talking to him about it? She already died. That's what happens to us when life situations hit us. Things happen and it just kind of be like, not again. It's almost like you get punched in your gut and you're like, come on, not again. I keep dealing with this over and over again. And Jesus is saying to him, look, I'll bear the punch for you. Don't look at that. All I want you to do is just believe me. If you just believe me, I'm going to prove to you who I am. But what happens so many times is that the situation happens. He says, don't be afraid. Only believe. I'm staying here for a purpose. What situation in your life has taken you out of the will of God? Or what situation in your life you need God to move so? And God says, only believe. Simple. Even when that situation rises up like a whirlwind. Do you remember when the children of Israel was crossing the Red Sea? And they were coming out of Egypt and the Egyptians was coming after them. And they still complaining to Moses. You brought us all the way out here so we can die in the ocean? Wait a minute, why would he give you the riches, bring you all the way out here? Part the Red Sea. They crossing the Red. Now, I would think if you're going to let me part this sea, these great waters, why would you let me die in them? You wouldn't even part the great waters if you were going to let me die in them. God had to again prove that he's great and mighty. He had to keep proving himself over and over. He parted this great, enormous ocean for you to cross over, and then you're complaining while you're crossing over that this army is coming to get you? Well, you didn't think he was going to take care of you while you're crossing it? Why would he let this army come get you in this great ocean? Why would he let you die in the great ocean? That's the way we do God. He's saying, why would I do that to you? I didn't bring you this far to leave you. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He's not that kind of God. He's not a mean, hateful God. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He's saying, just believe and watch what I will do. So,
great fellowship, contemporary worship, casual dress. Bring your family, bring your friends. Come just as you are and experience Life Fellowship Church for yourself. We're the church where learning to live life God's way is the way we live. 321 South William Street, Newburgh, New York. Our worship times are Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 7 p.m. We live, we laugh, we learn, we love. We are Life Fellowship Church.